going to take a real quick look at the review of the markets this past week. Corn was up about a half-cent, beans were up a penny. We had a little bit better week, I guess, but the big news this week was the frost that might be coming this weekend, what damage it might do to the corn and the bean crop. We don't expect a lot of damage done to the corn crop, but maybe these beans could potentially run into some damage. The wheat they were concerned about earlier in the week, but those fears fade off towards the end of the week. Got a real exciting week coming up next week. We got a lot of reports coming out. Monday we'll have the export report coming out Monday morning at 10 o'clock, and we do have the planning intentions report that comes out at 3 o'clock. We made some pretty good progress this past week in planning. The western corn belt's extremely dry, eastern corn belt's extremely wet, but we did end up with over 50% of the U.S. crop planted, so we are still running above the average pace for planting. Tuesday we've got the quarterly stocks report coming out. That's going to be the big report. They're going to estimate what the carryout is in the 2019-20 crop and the 2020-21 crop. We got 2020 crop corn projected at about 2.2 billion. The 2021 carryout in corn is the big one, somewhere between 3 billion and 4 billion, a really wide range there. But depending on what we raise this year, what this demand does, so there's a big range in the estimates for the 2021 crop. As far as beans goes, this year they're looking for a 500 million bushel carry out in August of this year. Next year they're looking for about a 400 million bushel carry out. So we do look to cut into that carry out this next year, but that's due to the smaller acreage. On Wednesday we'll come out. We always have a ethanol report comes out on Wednesday, so we'll see the ethanol numbers on Wednesday. Those have took a little bit of a rebound. Ethanol's actually come up a little bit this week. We've seen crude oil, a really nice rally into crude oil, which has brought the RBOB and the diesel fuel futures up. So ethanol is back to almost breaking even right now, which is real positive, but we just haven't seen the production kick in yet. It may take a few weeks for that production to kick back in. Thursday we'll have an export number coming out, so we've got a week filled with reports coming out this next week. As far as beans goes, we had a pretty busy week in beans this week. We had some big up days, big down days, but we only ended the week a couple cents higher, so a pretty flat week overall. We're going to see the basis levels on these beans that look like continue to be good. We've seen some export announcements in corn and beans, both from China this past week, and that's really positive. So if you're really bullish corn, the bullish part of the corn market's going to be China coming in buy U.S. corn. They did buy a little bit this week, but if you're thinking China's going to buy U.S. corn, we've got some big upside potential. On the other side, which is the side I'm coming on right now, I don't think China's going to live up to their phase one agreement. I think there's going to be some negotiating going on here, but at the end of the year, it doesn't appear to me that we're going to come near to that $38 billion that they said they were going to buy off the U.S. So I would not rule out $2.50 December corn, and I know that sounds like a long way down. That's about 80 cents from where we're at now, but I just feel like we're not going to see that those negotiations take place. And come August, they're going to pat each other on the back and say, hey, we didn't do it. We couldn't do it because of the coronavirus. We may penalize them. We may not penalize them, and we'll go into next year kicking the can down the road. So with that being said, I guess have a good week, a good safe week, and we'll talk to you next week.